Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I am here. I have a mess behind me, and I'm going to carry on like it doesn't matter. So I want two birthdays to go out today, two birthday shout outs. The first one is Diana Wright. The second one is to my granddaughter, Kylie, who is 14 today. I cannot believe she's grown up that fast. Unbelievable, these kids. They just grow up when you're not looking. So hello, everyone, and happy birthday, Miss Diana Wright. You deserve a very special day. And I think I just saw that your back is out. And I'm sorry, sweetie. But good job for husband stepping in and helping you so much, because that's important. That is important. So anyway, hello. Let me get my glasses on. I always check to see if they're too dirty, because they often are. I also, got thread on me. Hold on. I have my galaxy. It's a picture of the Milky Way, the galaxy, because I just wanted to honor the 50th anniversary of the first moon landing. And think of this, guys. We haven't been to the moon for 50 years. But do you know we first landed on the moon only 63 years after the Wilbur and Orville Wright brothers' first flight? 63 years from the very first little paper and wood plane to landing on the moon. So I'm expecting some new great things, especially now that corporations are getting involved with bigger pocketbooks, and I can't wait. So, hello, everybody. Is there anybody besides Diana and then my Kylie granddaughter that has a birthday? And I wanted to show you, I shouldn't show you, but look at my poor little pitiful fingernails. Remember before I went camping and they were so luxurious and amazing? Well, now they're a mess, but I've been so busy. The first problem I had was I started doing my paper beads. And what happens is my fingernails get a little bit damp while I'm working with the glue and the wet paper towels. And then I try to pull the beads off of the bead maker, and so they would kind of splinter a little bit. And then I've been so busy working on cleaning this room and getting stuff done, and my nails are horrible. And I didn't have time. I was going to try to at least hide them with some nail polish. I didn't have time. But Michelle is here. Hello, Michelle. Michelle, did you see the pictures I sent you from Becky? She had a great time in Rhode Island. She said, Mom, Rhode Island is beautiful and has the nicest people. So I said, that's why my Michelle was so beautiful too. She comes from there. So Akko is here. This is wonderful. And I want to apologize. I have not made any videos this week, and I feel really bad about it, because when I make y'all a promise, I like to keep up with it. But boy, does life get in the way. And Diane 57, she has her moderator status back. I don't know what happened last week, but thank goodness my ladies with power have their power back. So, I've just got a bunch of things to show you. I got up this morning, came down. I was working down here so hard. And I have pictures of what I've gotten accomplished and what I haven't yet. Because do you see over this shoulder? Do you see that pile of mess? Yeah. So, hold on, guys. Let me grab this real quick. Mark asked me if I wanted any help, and I said, yeah. So he said, let me pile put all the junk in a pile, and I'm going to show you that junk. Let me see. Do you see it over that shoulder? So, got one closet completely done. The other one is just a matter of putting things back. But what we did, which I'm really tickled, Mark came down yesterday, and he and I unloaded the rest of the stuff in the closets. And I've used most of my 400 boards. You know, I told you that I did the comics boards. And out of 400 of them, and understand, a stack of 400 is about, this thick. And this is all I've got left out of 400. So, and these will be used up most likely today because I just found more fabric. You know what I'm finding? I got a lot to talk to you about. I got so much to talk to you about. Well, the right side is getting better, but honestly, I've got some pictures to show you the truth. Because, I don't want you to think that just because I decided to do this show that my life is so simple and easy. No, it's not. I got all the problems everybody else does. And we hang in there and we just keep plodding away. And yesterday I was down here until, I guess, 4:30. Went up to cook dinner, made a cake. Well, see, okay, let me back up, girlfriends. Let me back up. Friday, I got so depressed. I know most of you are probably dealing with this heat wave. It's getting to me. I have to be honest. It's getting to me. I can't go out of the house. If I do, I have an asthma attack. The humidity and the heat has been unbearable. Although the other night we had a storm come through and it went from 94 to 77 in just a few minutes. I sat out on the front porch during the lightning and the thunder and the wind just because I could be outside for a few minutes without the blinding heat. And I took Gromit out with me, and I even called Mark, and he grumbled because he had just gotten home and gotten settled. And I said, come feel this. But we can't even open the house to air it out. And which that comes with a bad thing because cooking dinner last night, it bubbled over and smoked up the house. And just the little bit of time we had to open up the windows and turn the fan on and stuff. Oh, the humidity came in. It was horrible. But anyway, I enjoyed sitting out for about 20 minutes the other night when that storm was coming in and it dropped the temperature. But I said, I'm going to make a good use of it before it shoots back up. So I got so depressed Friday. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I haven't been on the Yahoo site as much chatting. Well, mainly it's because I've been working down here. It seems like the harder I work, the more stuff I find to do. It's awful, and I'm so fed up with it. But I did get the house clean this week, and my puppies, my Polly and my Maisie, that are really Becky's, they went home Wednesday afternoon. Then Thursday, I went out. Oh, you ready for this? Thursday, I went out to have lunch with my friend Mildred. And I got home and then went into a migraine and ended up spending the rest of the afternoon in bed with a migraine. And I don't know about y'all, if any of y'all have, oh gosh, I would say you had to turn on the AC in 110-degree heat index. And I had heard on the news 4 people have passed because of the heat. But when I get a migraine, my head aches for a couple days afterwards. It's kind of like the aftershock, So Friday morning, I was so depressed. I did not even want to get out of bed. I was a mess. And, it's not really like me. I can get down, but usually I can pull myself back up. Well, Mark came home. I was still depressed. And I told him There's so many things I need to finish doing around here, but it's so hot. I can't do anything outside. My plants are suffering. When my plants suffer, I suffer. And it's just, it's maddening. It really is maddening. And so he was real good. He let me just fuss and grumble and get it all off my chest. And that helped. But then yesterday morning, he went out and put the new lights up on the back deck because we like to have a little lights on the back deck to look happy and pretty. And I meant to take a picture, and I forgot to take my camera upstairs yesterday, but I will take a picture of them. And then he came down here. We got everything out of the closets. He ripped up that nasty old carpet and finished laying the laminate flooring that we had bought, that we put already down here. And he did it. It's so nice having that done because I just feel like I've been getting nowhere fast, and it's so overwhelming. And in this heat, it's just like I can't stand it, seeing stuff not get done. But what can you do? So he agreed that, yes, let the grass stay. It's so hot. Don't bother cutting and stressing that grass. And let's just work inside. So at least there's, it's cooler than it is, much cooler than outside. So anyway, that's been my couple of days. But when we got down here, and I had somebody down here while I was working on all my stuff, because it gets sad. I'm down here all day by myself. And when I saw stuff getting done and I realized, now I can put everything back because the new flooring is in the closets. And I felt so happy. I went upstairs at 4:30 yesterday, made stuffed cabbage. Are you kidding, Deb? And then made a chocolate marble cake and chocolate buttercream icing. After working all day. But I guess I told him, I said, see, I will stop and start, so we'll have to see. But yes, do you see my LaFleur block? And it's still missing just a couple little pieces, little short black pieces. But I wanted to show Miss Bonnie because thank you, my Michelle. I do enjoy making a good cake. But I wanted to show Bonnie on these hot evenings when I don't want to sit at a sewing machine or an ironing board, I'm picking that back up. And because, it's too hot to have a laptop on your lap. I mean, it's hot. So let me see how everybody else is doing. And then I've got a basket full of so many different things to show you. It's like when you clean out your room, you find all kinds of goodies. So let's see what y'all are talking about. Oh, the LaFleur, yes. It is a very sweet quilt. But it's something I'm going to take my time with because I'm doing it, by hand, all the applique by hand. And I'm really proud of myself. Some of the pieces didn't look right, so I took them out and put them back in. So it's like, if it doesn't look right, it bothers me, redo it. And it doesn't take that much time to redo. I needle turn. So you have to understand, if you do English paper piecing and if you do freezer paper or any kind of insert in it, you will get a smoother, more uniform look. When you do needle turn, it's still hard for me to get a real uniform look because you're just doing it as you go. And that's fine with me because to me, I like my handwork to look like handwork. I don't want it to look like something a computer did, but that's my opinion. Other people want it to be as accurate as possible. So each person choose the way you want to do it. But last night I had finished this block and I didn't have the pattern and I forgot the block was already down here hanging up like that. And I thought, ooh, what can I do? So I cut out all new leaves and buds, and I cut out the green heart shape that looks in the center there, and I cut out, some of the littler Le Fleur type shape. So now I have a bunch all ready to go. So let me go back. I just want to see who's here. And it is so good seeing you guys. And I tell you what, there was a part this morning. I was so tired. I was over there loading all my bolts and folding up all of my batting. Not batting, backing. Speaking of backing, I need to go to Connecting Threads because they have some fabric as cheap as $2.40 a yard. And when that fabric gets that cheap, I'll see what colors I'm short on backing, and I buy it and then piece it for the backing because I'm sorry, even if you make it double thickness, it's less than $5 a yard and you would have 90 inches wide. So, hello. Anyway, or 88 inches, But I know I'll talk to you more about the whole fabric thing because I know I really don't need fabric per se, but I always need backing. And this year I told you I'm getting my act together. I'm going to finish these, so many projects. You won't believe how many, I'll show you in just a few minutes, how many projects I have started waiting to be finished and how many fabric groupings I've already put together waiting for a quilt to use them for. I think my stash will exceed my lifetime at this point. So it's time to rethink this. Okay, let me see. So Susan, Teresa, hello, Teresa. Vicky, Teresa, somehow I didn't realize you had come into the Yahoo group when you did. And so I probably was very late on my hello, welcome, Teresa. And then I was sitting there, it was late at night, and I was like, oh gosh, I know her name is Jukovic. I don't remember how to spell it. So I just put Juke and a question mark. I apologize. That was not meant as a slight. My maiden name was 3 letters. So I'm not used to any. In fact, when I write Johnson, and I've been writing that now for 40 some years, I do JOH, start it in, and just kind of go straight line. I can't handle more than 3 letters for last name. But so Susan and Kathleen Kendall, hi, sweetie. And it's so good to see Diana Wright. We missed her last week, didn't we? Oh, and just to tell you, I talked to Miss Nadine today. Her and her husband ride horses. So they're doing an all-day horse event in Germany. And she said, don't expect me on the live stream because I'm probably going to be so worn out by the time they get home. But I love all these activities she does. She's a busy lady because, we missed her last week because they went out on the Elbe River to celebrate her mother's birthday. So how nice. So wonderful. Oh, Sonia, hello, sweetie. I haven't even begun my Jenny Buyer. That'll tell you how busy I have been. So, hello, everyone. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. Akko, I guess you could see from the message that Diana Wright left how much it meant for everyone to see your video. Thank you for doing that last week. I felt like seeing your video was the highlight of the whole show. So thank you. And I promise I'm going to be working on my Jenny Buyer this week. I promise. So, this is great. So, let's see. Isn't that nice to be able to put a face with a name and a little bit of their lifestyle? Patty Chamberlain's on here. Hello, Patty. And don't forget, Miss Kinsey turned 6 years old August 3rd. Don't forget. We'll have to sing to her. All right. Oh, Akko, if you could have seen what this room looked like this morning. Oh, my gosh, it was even worse. But that pile is 3 feet high and 5 feet wide. It's huge. It's going to take me hours. But your house, Diana Wright's house is spotless because she's trying to sell hers. So can you imagine how gorgeous it is? Just gorgeous. So Mary's here. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, and help me remember if a Patty F comes in. It's Trisha, and she's the one I met in Pineapple Fabrics. And last week she had come in and said hi, and I missed it. And so if y'all see Patricia F or Patty F, it's not Patricia Fry. It's a different one, and she's Trisha that I met at Pineapple Fabrics. So 3 months after the moon landing, Akka was born. Well, what a special time that was. Who remembers the moon landing? I was 13. We were camping. Somebody had a little tiny black and white TV, and my mother made me wake up and come see that. And I was so tired. I thought, I just want to go to bed. I don't want to watch this. And I'm so glad now that she made me watch it, because I don't really remember that much about it. But I'm glad to say, yeah, I saw that. So, and Mark, being Mark, went outside, looked at the moon, and said, wow, there are human beings up on that thing right now. I was like, that's deep for an 11-year-old. So, also, my grandson on the 26th of June turned 12 years old. So happy birthday to my Evan. So, okay. It is so, so good. It is so, so good to see all of you. There's so many people here. I love it. So, and did I tell you the other day, because we get a lot of viewings after the fact. In fact, last week's is up to over 260. But during live concurrence, meaning the majority, how many people are on at any one time, last week or the week before, we had 29 at one time, and that was our highest that I'm aware of. So I'm really tickled. Oh, I bet you it's like an oven in your garage. There's Bonnie here. How are you doing, Miss Bonnie? I've been missing Miss Bonnie. I haven't been on the site, and I've been missing our Miss Bonnie. So, yeah, we can sympathize now with Nadine, because they had the heat wave in Germany, a few weeks ago, and for them, it was 18 degrees higher than their average normal temperature. For us, it maybe is 10 degrees, but can you imagine? A lot of those people in Northern Europe, they don't have air conditioning. What in the world do you do? Oh, you fell Tuesday. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Ouch. Isn't it hard? I dread, I try to be so careful. I dread falling. So, oh, good. You can start getting your fabric straightened out. And Susan, have you heard any more, or do you have any announcement to make, or would you like to sit on it a little bit longer? So, Lisa Cape and Quilts. Hello, dear heart. I think I saw you as a new subscriber. Wait a minute. I think, Lisa, I went to your website the other day, and I was so fascinated. I love watching your stuff. It's so good to see you. Hello. Hello. Oh, that is so neat. It's neat to recognize someone's name. And Vicky is here. Hello, Miss Vicky. So, it is so good. Yes, it is too hot, Miss Lisa. And let me see. Oh, Bonnie had to sit in the easy chair. Aw. Oh, well, it is so good. I think I'm just about all the way down. Got to sit on it a minute. Waiting is killing us. Okay, so I want to show you a bunch of different things. Maybe I'll show you the photos first and kind of show you my mess. I wanted to, I told myself I should make a video of this, but I've just got to get it done. When you get that feeling of if I don't get this room done, I'm going to scream. That's how I've been feeling, because as long as this room's a mess, I can't do my videos. I miss just sitting at a sewing machine and working on stuff. And I do want to tell you this. I found projects that I had forgotten I have no memory of actually doing them. One of them was a round robin by Kaz, a woman named Tara Kaz, who used to have a site, and she did patterns and mysteries. And I looked and I went, I love the fabrics. They were actually pretty sophisticated fabrics for a Deb. And I thought, I love this. So now that I've found all this good stuff, I can't wait to get to sewing. I just want to sit in front of this machine and just turn them out. I also loaded a quilt on the frame. Remember, I was doing the tummy time blanket for my grandson, where I did the trapunto by gluing some batting behind what I want to stand out, puff out. So I've got that on the frame, and I'm working on that. And on black, I'm using a YLI thread, which breaks often, so I have to go slowly. But it's just because of my machine and all the batting I'm going through. But I'm doing butterflies on a black background with the primary color thread, and it's so pretty. So I will be showing you that. All right. Yeah, you, Susan, you watch Lisa also. I know she's a lovely lady. And I think, if I remember right, she's been doing videos for about 5 years. Just a real nice lady. So I got really excited. And so I've kind of been, when it gets too hot and while I was folding and ironing fabric, I would check out, like Rob Appel has a new show. He used to work with Missouri Star Quilts and do his man quilting or man sewing, and now he's gone on his own. He is a fabric rep for Michael Miller Fabrics. And now at home, he's doing his own videos. And so I told Mark, you got to see this, because he's setting up like he said, he's learning to become a videographer. And it was fascinating to watch him. And he's got 3 or 4 different cameras, and he controls them all from his laptop. Mark said, Deb, do you know how much money that costs? My little $300 camera. He said, it can't, that's a software program that controls everything. He can sit on his laptop and make it zoom in and zoom out. So I said, okay, I can't afford that. This is low budget. I'm not even monetized yet, nothing. So I said, how about an articulated arm? And that way I can move my camera around. Because I said, I hate going, watch it, guys. Sorry, I got to move the camera. And I pick it up and move it. So we'll get there. Maybe what I'll do is hit up Miss Lisa Capon and get some of her hints, because I love her videos. They're wonderful. So, Rob Appel. I bet you he was fun to meet, Diane 57. He's got so much energy. He is cute as can be. So, okay. Now I'm going to move the camera. I'm warning you. But I want you to be able to see. This is weird, having the camera look at the laptop. Okay, let me point it down. All right, hold on. Let me adjust it. And then I'm going to show you. I also have, since Diana Wright wasn't here last week, I've got her pictures on it again. Okay, let's see. Yes, okay. So just to show you again, here's our sites. In fact, let me turn this side, see. Okay. I want to let me close this window shade so you can see the pictures better. Hold on. The camera is so sensitive. There. Oh, that's much better. Okay. Now, let me see. See all this stuff I have to do? I want to get it where it's more professional. Okay. All right. So here is our groups. Here is our group's house quilt. Then here's Miss Diana Wright's beautiful quilt she's got on there. And I think it's a Dita Sitar pattern. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous work? I wanted to show these again so that we could all ooh and ah and embarrass Miss Diana, because you know how she is. She's so modest. But look at this beautiful thing. Isn't that great? Then, Bonnie, I found your Sudoku quilt. So I said, put Bonnie's Sudoku quilt on here too. All right, here's my mess. Now, these boxes have antique linens in them. I'm not even sure what's in this thing, but these all have antique linens. It was given to me by a man. I quilted his grandmother's quilts for him, and this was back before 2009. It probably was like 2008 in my old house. And he just wanted to find a place for this. His grandmother, her health was failing, and he didn't want somebody just to throw them away. So he gave them to me, and I need to go through them because I'm sure there's some treasures in there. So I love antique linens. All right, so here's my big pile. I've got totes galore. I'm going to go through my totes. Is that ridiculous? So I'm going to go through in any of these cheap ones. Like right here, I'm going to give that to my daughter for her grocery shopping. But anyway, I'm going to organize them. I told my daughter, everything has to earn its place back in the closet, because if not, boom. So this last week, this counter right here was up to about right here with fabric. I mean, it was a mess. So this is actually a lot better than it was. But as you can see, I still have a lot of work to do. Because then after that, I'm going to go through all these shelves and organize those. All right. So here is my closet now. And here are projects, some kits. Probably here's a Jenny Buyer. Ooh, yay, yay. But here's my closet, and here are some of these things are fabric collections in a sack waiting for a project. Then here are my fabrics. These two bins are multiple color fabrics. They don't really go in just one color basket. And any panels, I put my panels in there too. But like this fabric right here, it is one of the ombres, and it goes from like yellow to orange to green to who knows what. So these two bins are my multiple color fabrics. Then my reds, my orange, my browns, and blacks and grays. And then, whoops, sorry, let me. Okay, then I'll show you the next row. Whoops, let me go over here. All right, so here I have some golds and greens, and then this is another greens box, and then my teals, my purples, my blues. Here are all of my off-whites and creams and whites. Then here are my fat quarters, which I've got two more tubs about this size full. Then these are reds and yellows. See how few yellows back in here? And this is an overflow from my reds. This is a bag that I've put all the garment fabrics. Whoops, I'm not showing y'all right. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so here are my fat quarters. Then I just have a few yellows back here, and this is my overflow of reds and pinks. This is a bag that I have all of the fabric in that I'm going to make shirts or jackets, stuff like that. Then here starts the folded backings, more backings here, some backings on bolts here. Then some of these are backings or backgrounds, and some just larger pieces that a regular fabric or backing, whichever way I wanted to use it. Then I'll show you. Let me see if I have another. This is a box of books that I didn't know what to do with, so I stuck them there for the moment. But down in this bag, I have a big bag of upholstery fabric and outdoor fabric. But this is okay. Now, let's see. I wanted to show you. See, we've got, now I haven't mopped my floor yet, sorry. But we put down this gray laminate 2 years ago, almost 2 years, I guess a year and a half ago. And so he got the laminate put in the closet too. And the nice thing is it has a waterproof underlayment, so I can sit things down there without worrying that they're going to be messed up. And here is another view of that floor he did. He did a really good job. And this closet, I'll show you, this is where I hang my quilt top. Mostly they're quilt tops waiting to be quilted. And I have others, but this is just what I have hanging right now. And the top of this closet, again, you see projects. Whoops. You see projects and collections of fabric waiting to become a project. So I did, look at all this. I did find, Deb, you really don't need to buy more fabric. So, and this was a quilt, the quilt by Cause, that I found that I don't even remember making. But I've got everything is in a bag. Everything is organized so that when I go up there and I can put my hands on it and pull it out and start working. So that's what I'm trying. Sorry with this fuzzy one. I went in, I had bags, like when I finish a project, the leftover fabrics I just had in a bag shoved somewhere. And so what I did is said, okay, if there's not enough to do another project with that group of fabrics, then what I need to do is return it back to service and put it in with the different colors. So, but as you can see, do you see these? Like, these are kits that I had bought years ago from Connecting Threads. And then just all kinds of, just everything. So, and here is the main counter. When you say the left is clean. Nah, some of this here is a container with all of my space fabrics because I'm going to do that collection. Here are some of my landscape fabrics. Then I've got these things need to go upstairs where I do my fancy thread painting. I even found my old clarinet. That clarinet is from the 1960s. So I told Mark I need to get some easy to use reeds and try to play it. So this is Sonia's cutting table with her beautiful Jenny Beyer block of the month. And I think it's just beautiful. And I love her other blocks. Look at this. And look at double wedding ring quilt. Nice and tidy. Nothing like what my room looks like. Did you notice? And look how everything, she has them clipped together. Is that beautiful work? I tell you the truth. This woman's organized. Teresa, I found this too. Now let me see if I can rotate it. Okay. And this I know is in Around the World. And it's in beautiful batiks, but I have forgotten the names that she told me these two quilts are. So she can write them in the margins. I think that might be it, but let me see just to make sure. Yep, that was the last one. So this is Teresa Jukovich's quilts that she had sent me a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't figure out how to get them online. But now when you send me your picture, I'll put it right here with the rest of them. All right, I'm going to put the camera back, ladies, and then I can see what y'all are talking about. Oh, that was cool. It did one of those infinity kind of, picture, taking a picture, taking a picture, taking a picture, right on down. All right. In fact, while I've got the camera picked up, look at this. I am nowhere near done. Nowhere near done. So, but if you only knew how hard I've been working, ladies, you would be very proud of your Deb. So I told Mark and my kids, everything takes longer when you get in your 60s. It's just harder and longer. Oops. Okay. All right. All right. So let's see. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I try. I really try. I told Mark that's why I get panicky if I get behind because it's so much harder to try to catch up. It's too much to try to catch up. So anybody have any? Yeah. Oh, you played the French horn? Which horn? My daughter plays the French horn, and she's still playing now in a community band. My other daughter was a clarinet player. My son's a percussionist, and he still is. That's his livelihood. He teaches percussion. He plays and he's a live performer, and he has a studio where he records all kinds of people. And so he's even done some people for TV shows where they're traveling and they need to do a little part for an intro or something, and they stop at his studio and he records them. So, but we are a musical family. Okay, let's see. Mariella Barnes is here, hon. Hi, sweetie. I love it. Y'all are fantastic. French horn, Akko. Oh my gosh. See, I wanted to play a French horn. When I was growing up, it was like fourth grade. It was like, okay, you have to play. And you could play a flute, a clarinet, a trumpet, maybe a trombone. That was it. Those were your choices. And percussion. So I played clarinet. Well, how do I say this? I played for a long time, 7 years or so, and I got bored with it. I know I shouldn't say that. And I got bored, and it became too easy for me, and I got bored, so I wanted to play French horn. I thought French horns were the best. Well, my band director wouldn't let me switch. He said, no, you're a junior in high school. You're not going to switch from woodwinds to brass. Wow. So when my daughter came along, she said, what instrument should I play? I said, oh, I always loved French horn. So she played French horn. So you still got your clarinet too, Vicky. I love it. Oh, good job, Diane 57. She was in lead choir as a freshman. Now that's good. That's good. Oh, I love that, Diane. I sent his parents what you said about him hitting 3 octaves. That's so cool. Thank you, Mariella, for understanding. Because I start thinking about it. I say, when I go, everybody's going to just toss this stuff. I better start using it. In fact, you know what? I have so few completed, like I've started a couple Jenny Beyer quilts, never finished them. I'm going to finish them. Oh, oh, that's cute, Bonnie. That's cute. Y'all teamed up so you'd only have to play half as much. That is great. That is great. So, oh, y'all are great. So, I've got some fun things to show you. Okay. Oh, Lisa, please come help me with this room. I saw yours and it looks lovely. So come help me with this one. All right. And don't let me forget, last week I forgot to show you the quilt of the week. So, and this is a fun one. It kind of, to me, it kind of shows my progress through time. You know, sometimes it's good to pull out an old quilt because when you do, you realize I have made progress. That's pretty cool. So okay. Now, I did buy something, I'm on a budget, and best thing about the ex is he did pay me alimony for a number of years. And that's stopped now, so I've got to be on a budget. But I've been wanting to teach you guys this braided border because it can take a simple panel and turn it into a lovely quilt. And it's easy. It's not, it's so much harder to braid hair. This is easy. So I said, well, I want to teach them the right way, not just what I remember. So I went on eBay and I found this, and it was only like $7. And so I ordered it, and it's all using strip sets. We can make strip sets, guys. We can do strip sets. Let me tell you, John Flynn, smart man, bridge designer, engineer. And he can put his talents to such good use. And I've met him before. Now, I have to say, I didn't want his quilting system, but you know what? It's a great system to start out with if you don't want to invest much money. But anyway, so don't worry. I'm going to make a video of doing the braided borders. And I also want to say, if you ever want to do a double wedding ring quilt, get John Flynn's handbook on it. Easiest way to make a real double wedding ring. Remember I told you he uses strip sets, and there's an angle that you sew. You take a strip set and you use a prescribed angle that you sew in, and if you do every seam that way, it makes the arc. So simple. Because I didn't want a system that was going to cut everything to pieces, or just kind of alter the shape. So I've been finding goodies left and right. Goodies. And I did the mandala quilts because I learned them at the Myrtle Beach quilt party, took a class there, and I think it was Tina Roth, I think was her name, that taught me. Wonderful teacher. And that was years ago, a lot of years ago. But look what I found when I was looking through boxes and bins. But isn't that neat? And I don't know what I'm going to put in the center, but I just thought the colors were happy and light. And it looks like the Grinch, kind of Dr. Seuss-like, which it makes me smile. So if I finish this, it'd be a great little Christmas wreath quilt for down here in my studio. And then here's another one. So here are the wedges sewn, 36 wedges sewn together. They form a circle. Now I just have to find a background to mount that to. So it is fun cleaning your room because you find lots of good stuff. So, I found things I don't remember doing, not for anything. Okay, I used to say, wash all your fabrics the moment they come in the door. Wash them all. I don't do that anymore. I've gotten lazy. The main reason I don't do it anymore is washing them is fine, but then you got to iron them. They come out of the dryer all, and then you have to iron them. And I've gotten old. I don't want to do all that ironing. So, but this is the reason that it was my opinion that you needed to pre-wash your fabrics. Now, you know who I love more than fabric itself, and that's Miss Jenny Byer. And here is one of her first quilts that I started working on. And it's all by hand. Akko, you'd be proud of me, sweetheart. Did y'all know that Akko's grandmother was a kimono maker? Isn't that amazing? So that's where, Akko comes naturally by her beautiful handwork. In fact, you know what? Oh, I wish I had found that picture of Akko's. Her hand stitches are absolutely tiny. Absolutely tiny. Well, this was years ago. In fact, it was back when I was married. So this means it's over 15 years old. And I cut out the templates. And, oh yeah, Akko, if you have any photos of any of her work or her kimonos or anything like that, let me know. And, but anyway, yeah, I'd love to know who pre-washes and who doesn't. Now I've learned if the color is extremely concentrated, like the reds in this Jenny Buyer, I'll throw it in the wash machine. And use some, you can even just use salt or vinegar to help set the color if it's a very concentrated dye. But you know what? Yeah, those color catcher little, what do you, I forgot what they're called, but those little color catcher things, throw those in and it catches any loose dyes in the water. And I think someone told me cipronol. Well, this I worked on by hand. I took it different places with me and worked on it and worked on it. And I got all of the blocks made. And I don't even know where the pattern is. I have to find that now. But anyway, and there's so many pieces. I think there were 27 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I'll count them up later, but I think there were like 27 pieces because the center is a square and a square. But you see all of this? So, and I have these two, and I have this and these two, and these two, and these two, and these two, and this one, and this one, and these two, and these two. So that works out to be quite a few. Well, I had a problem. And the bag that I had these in, I was going somewhere, I forget what, and I knocked over a Coca-Cola into the bag. Well, if you knock a Coca-Cola into the bag, you've got to wash them. And look what happened when I washed them. Well, you probably can't see it good, but the red bled. And let me see if I can find one that really shows it. Well, back when this bled, here's one. And let me see if you can see. The light might be too bright, but it's all bled right in here. I didn't know about color catchers back then. And I didn't realize that there was something, I think it's cipronol. Did y'all tell me whether or not? But it bled. And so all of this work I did on all these blocks, all by hand. I mean, you can see it's hand work. It broke my heart, and I put it in a bag, and then I promptly lost it. And by cleaning out the room, I wish you could see. You can't really see good, but there's a lot of bleeding on this. And I put it in a bag and then kind of lost track of it. And so I was so excited. I found this today. And I'm so happy because you know what? The quilter I am now, the woman I am now, I'm not in my 40s anymore. And if I can't get all the bleeding out, I don't care. What I care about is this beautiful work. Look at this thing. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, call it a design element. I'm going to treasure this. And you know what I promise you? Before the end of the year, this is going to end up on my wall. And I'm going to show you this. It's going to be quilted and it's going to be treasured. So, and it'll be my first Jenny Buyer quilt that I actually finished. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. But I am going to put it through the wash again on gentle with a color catcher. And I think, did somebody tell me whether it's cipronol? So that's what I'm doing. Because it broke my heart before when it happened. And I was too hard on myself. But now I'm going to say, look at all that good stuff you did do. Who cares? Honest to goodness, I don't think any of y'all, if I just showed you the quilt, would go, oh, look, this ran. I mean, you could hardly see it on here, so why am I worrying about it, right? So, synthropol. Oh, thank you, Susan. I am going to finish it. I'm going to finish it because you know what? We have to cheer on our accomplishments. Not even, don't reflect on the mistakes unless you just learn from them and move on. There we go. Oh, okay. So anyway, my goodness. So I am going to follow up on that, and then I will show you when I have it done. So then I found some things. I've still got a couple good things to show y'all. So, and if one of you has a question or something, just let me know. I am kind of loosey-goosey with this show today. I'm just showing you all my goodies that I found. I found some great stuff. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you too. That's right, Susan. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And you know what? We don't believe in quilt police, not even the ones you let live in your head. It's time to evict the quilt police from your brain. Because you know what? Thank you, Mariella. And this is the only life we get. This is not a dress rehearsal, ladies. So it's time to have fun. So, guys, these are going way back. When I lived in Maryland before I moved to North Carolina, when I got my divorce, I was the president of Quilters by the Bay, which is a group from Leonardtown, Maryland. And so I got some thank you blocks from them. And these couple, I had my old little motorhome, and I took a group of ladies, and we went up to Lancaster. So they got to ride in the motorhome on the way up and have a bathroom and all that stuff. And then I stayed in the motorhome, and they stayed in a hotel. And so the ones that went decided to do a thank you block, and it's with hands, and I don't remember exactly what the hands, but these were thank you blocks from some of the ladies, and I wanted to show you. Look at this. Isn't that wonderful? And you know what? I need to put these into a quilt, because I could put this up in my frame room. It would make me so happy to look at. And look at this one. Oh my gosh, this tells you it was November 2003. Wow. But aren't these sweet? I guess they traced their hands. Maybe that was the significance. And then look at this. I just loved it. It's got a pearl ring, a gold ring, and look at the bracelet. But isn't that neat? So it's just 4 blocks. But I love that. Yes, exactly. Boy, if you get down a little bit, look at something like this and remember. And they took the time. They cared enough to, and we went up and did all the Amish shops. And you know what? I haven't done that in ages, and I would love to go back and do it. That was the thing. When I lived in Maryland, it wasn't that far to go, maybe 3 hours. Now it's quite a trip. The last time I went up to Lancaster, I think it was last time, because remember I told you when I lived in Maryland, I acted as a driver for an old order Mennonite family. And that's like Amish, except the men don't wear beards. But they were old order, where they don't have electricity, they don't have cars. And so I would take them up to Lancaster. Their son had schizophrenia, and he was just a child. And so that's one of the problems, is some of those illnesses like that tend to run in the family. And there's, how do I say this? The genetic pool is a little thin because they only marry within the community, and that presents some problems. But I would drive them up to Lancaster. Loved it. And so one time I wanted Mark, not long after, we were together, I wanted Mark to go up to Lancaster with me. And I loved going to Hershey's Museum and going through the little museum tour and do the little 3D entertainment movie or whatever they had. And then stop at a few Amish shops and buy fabric. I didn't realize he had an abscessed tooth. I had no idea, and he didn't want to disappoint me. So he went and tried to pretend like he wasn't dying of pain. And, oh, that's a great idea, Deborah Donnell. Hi, Deborah Donnell. So Deborah said, do my own hand and put it in the middle. Oh, I love that. I love that. And so we went up in November and there wasn't a motel room anywhere nearby. So not for the first night, because we thought we would just get a hotel once we're up there. Don't do that. So we had to sleep in the parking lot, a Walmart parking lot. We slept in his car in the Walmart parking lot. What a trip. And the poor thing is he's using all kinds of Oragel, trying to keep his tooth from hurting, because I didn't realize he had an appointment for the next week. But, oh gosh, what a mess. So then, since I was president and I stopped being president in December 2004 because I moved here January 1st, 2005. And then later on, Mark moved here with me. But I first moved to North Carolina. I didn't know anyone, didn't know a soul. So it was kind of exciting. But anyway, but it was an adventure for me. So I just thought I would show you the blocks that the ladies made me. They were so good there about making blocks for you when you served your time. And, but this is going to be so pretty. I think they knew I loved jewel tones. But what beautiful work. Now look at this one. Is that just beautiful? And they wrote most of them wrote nice little notes. Because they knew that, boy, that was 2003 was a hard year for Deb. So, but aren't these great? And I mean, it takes you back in time because we're talking 16 years ago. Isn't that neat? Oh, look at this. Isn't that sweet? So I thought y'all might want to see this. It's a blast from the past. And these were packed in a box I had forgotten about because I hadn't opened them in so long. But isn't that sweet? Gosh, makes me remember some of those ladies and miss them so much. But I was president of that group, and they were so good to me. And remember I told you one of the reasons I love ladies, and I love all of you so much, I went through a rough time. And the ladies that opened up and told me their painful stories so that I didn't feel alone, it was unbelievable. So I think women are absolutely amazing. And, oh, wow. And, I know why I didn't finish these, because it was a really disruptive time in my life, and I had to move here and start all over again. And I moved to a rental house while I was waiting to close on a little house I bought. And so, I just had a lot going on. But isn't this sweet? Oh, my gosh. You want to see this? This is really sweet. And she used Jenny Beyer fabrics, which she knew. I mean, I've been a Jenny Beyer fan for a long time. Why did I choose North Carolina? I was born in Norfolk, Virginia, raised in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and every summer we would go to Carr Lake in North Carolina to camp. And that was, I had a rough childhood, and that camping time was always my salvation. There was something about that lake that soothed my soul and healed my psyche, and I loved it. And even when I moved up to Maryland, the stipulation was I'll move to Maryland for the husband's job as long as I get to go back to my lake every year. And Carr Lake is a man-made lake, a little north of Durham, and it's a beautiful place. It's where I still go to this day. So when it came time to pick a place to move, I knew I couldn't afford to stay in Maryland, and it was too expensive. And understand, I didn't have a career. So I all of a sudden was terrified. How am I going to support myself? Luckily, I asked for the house, and it was the house we built on 10 acres. I built it. I was the general contractor. It was all me that wanted to buy the land, 10 acres, and build the house, and it was my baby. I was a general contractor. I did the tiling, the flooring, the painting, some of the trim. I was there every day on site directing it. I got it done in 4 months. I mean, it was just a real special time in my life. And I got my confidence doing that. And as much as it killed me in one way to sell it, in another, it represented the life that had started going downhill. And so I think I've told some of y'all, my husband had been cheating for 20 of the 29 years and with almost as many women. So, it was time. I gave him a second chance. It didn't work. I was gone. So, but I picked North Carolina because it's near that lake. I thought if I chose a more inland position, it wouldn't be as humid, because living in Maryland, I was on a peninsula. And right below us was the Potomac River. Above us was the Patuxent River. And right at the end of the triangle was the Chesapeake Bay. So talk about humid. Oh my gosh. So this is better here, but still, it's still humid here. But I live now in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I came up here to visit because I told my daughter when I knew I was going to be divorced, I said, I've got to find someplace to move. I want a new start. And being 48, I was a little nervous about how do I start again at this stage in life. And so we just looked on a map, and I just picked a place in North Carolina. I didn't want it to be a big city. And my daughter said, but, don't get something too small. And because that way we want to move to wherever you go, we want to go. And that way John can get a job as a band director. See, we keep all the music, stays in the family. And so I picked this off the map, and we did drive down here and came to see this town. And from the moment I drove in, it was home. And I remember telling Becky, it's like Mayberry, but grown up. And I just loved it. And we went to downtown. They had music on trade. And it was a summertime music festival, and everybody was dancing in the street, and had a band there, and they sold beverages and had a few food trucks. And I remember just tears came to my eyes, and I said, I belong here. This is where I belong. So that very weekend we came down, and a wonderful new real estate agent showed me around. I found I could really afford to buy a house here with what I was going to make off of the house I sold in Maryland. So that was the beginning. And Mark and I had just been talking and stuff. So, he wasn't ready to leave Dallas, Texas, but that ended up happening, and it was a good thing. So, okay. Oh, thank you. Let me tell you what. Sometimes when you think, please remember this, sometimes when you think your life is ending, or that the worst thing is happening, I can't believe this. Try to have a little step back a little bit. I'm not a religious woman, but I do believe in karma, or whatever it is that you put out in the world will come back to you. And sometimes things happen to us to take us to a better place. And boy, did I end up in a better place. I doubt I would have been here with y'all. I don't know. I mean, this is just so wonderful. So please understand that, I love you. And if I can share what I've been through and share a little bit of, you will come out to the other side, and it's going to be better. So sometimes in this life, we're kind of forced into change, and it can be the best thing ever. And I look at it and go, I have 3 wonderful children from my former marriage, and I built a house. I learned to do things. About my Greyhound rescue. That's how I met Mark. So if you ever get a little sad and you don't know what to do with yourself, find a way to give back. That's when things will happen in your life. But look at this. Isn't that sweet? And I love, each is as unique as the quilter who made it. Oh, this is so cute. This is made by a woman who has a farm. She's a sheep farmer and a spinner and a weaver. And oh my gosh, that's so cute. So these are wonderful and unique. And I'm going to make these into a quilt. Now this one might not be made into a quilt until next year. We'll see. But anyway, that's the last one of those. So I just thought I would love to thank you for letting me share that with you. Because, you know, I was like, I hadn't looked at it in a while. And actually, when they were given to me, I was trying to get a house ready that had sold and packed. I mean, I had lived in that house for 14 years. And I had to leave it and sell it. Everything was going upside down. Now, let me look at this real quick. Bye, Bonnie, sweetheart. Oh, I was going to show you the quilt. I'm going to show you my hand-dyed fabric. But first, I'm going to show you real quick, because I know people have to go. This quilt of the week is an unfinished flimsy. Okay. This is an unfinished flimsy, and let me tell you what it is. I found this fabric with these gorgeous designs on it, and I thought, they're so pretty. I wonder if I could cut them out and do broderie purse. So, do you see this? Oh, thank you, Diana. They were very sweet. Diane 57, there was a lot of love there, thank goodness. But I wanted to show you that I was doing broderie purse with these. Now remember, that comes from Persian embroidery, and it's where you cut out a design, you put it on a cheaper fabric, and then you applique it down. Now, honestly, I started this probably 12 years ago, and it's not quite how I really thought it would look, but I'm going to finish it eventually. But I got a kick out of looking at my applique stitches, and I can see my applique stitches. And now when I applique, I can't see my stitches. Let me see if I can show you what I mean. But it's fun to look at something and see that, yes, I have made progress. And that's the way you look at it. Look at it like, look how far I've come. Whoops. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can. Oops, hold on. Let me find, okay, like, whoops, hold on. What did I do? I must have done something. Okay, hold on. My camera is stuck. Hold on. Oh. Well, isn't this wonderful? Bonnie, look what you missed, hon. Okay, hold on.